Hi. So a few months back I made a video on getting started with drop thumb for clawhammer and players and frailers who hadn't really attempted drop thumb, and I showed an approach to get you started with drop thumb, and it's not the approach but an approach. And I emphasized the basic drop thumb pattern, which is played on strings 1, 2, 1, 5 is the basic roll pattern. And today, what I'd like to do is show you a variation on that pattern that's a very useful drop thumb roll across a variety of tunings. And next to the 1, 2, 1, 5 pattern, this is probably the second most useful drop thumb roll or drop thumb pattern in clawhammer, and I use it all the time. And we'll explore that in the video today. So let's just do a quick review. So in the previous video, and if you haven't watched that, you might want to go back and take a look at that if you haven't tried drop thumbing before, and get that down, and then come back to this video. But in the previous video, I emphasized that the basic drop thumb pattern was going to be moving our thumb down to the second string on an offbeat, and basically filling in the bum ditty pattern. So what we would do is strike string 1, and then drop thumb to 2, and then do a ditty on strings 1 and 5. So the pattern is drop thumb ditty, drop thumb ditty, or in terms of string order, 1, 2, 1, 5, 1, 2, 1, 5. Of course, if we leave the drop thumb out of that, all we have left is a bum, ditty, 1, 1, 5, 1, 1, 5. Okay, so that was what that whole video is about, and how to work your way up to doing that. So today I want to show, like I said, a variation on that, and it's what I call the 1, 2, 3, 5 pattern. So it's still going to be a drop thumb ditty. However, when we do the ditty, we're going to shift our finger from the first string down to the third string. And it's going to sound like this. Now, at first, you're going to probably trip a little bit because you're used to doing that second finger strike on the first string, and you've got to get your brain to tell your finger to go up to the third string, and it's just going to require building some muscle memory. Now, some of you might get this right out of the gate, and great. And if you don't worry about it. Just do it over and over again, and you're going to get it. Make sure that you're coming up on the upstroke, so that you can make that clean strike into the third string on the downstroke, on the second downstroke. And make sure when you're doing that, that you're coming obliquely towards the string, not just straight up and down, but your hand actually comes away from the head a little bit on the upstroke. And then when you're coming down to strike that third string, you're gonna hit it with the nail of your finger, whether it's your index finger or middle finger. So 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. 1, 2, 3, 5. Again, just drop thumb ditty, drop thumb ditty. All we've done from the basic pattern is change that third note from the first string to the third string. That's the only variation we're making in this whole thing. Now, this particular pattern is really useful for ending a lot of songs and tunes. And like I said, it works across a variety of tunings. I'm going to show you that here in the rest of this video. So if we're in G tuning or capoed up, it would be standard A tuning. And we're going to use this for an ending. What we want to do is when we play that third string, put your finger down on the second fret of the third string. So rather than playing the open string, which is a G note, we want to play an A note, which is the third string fretted at the second fret. So the pattern is going to sound like this. And when you practice that, you can just leave your finger down on the third string, because we're only playing it once, so drop, thumb, diddy, drop, thumb, diddy, drop, thumb, diddy. 1, 2, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5. Now, to make that an ending, and what we're doing there, by the way, by putting our finger there at the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, we're forming a partial D chord. So as an ending, we're going from a G chord temporarily to a D chord, which is typical of a lot of endings, and then back to, we want to go back to open G. So we want to tag one more bum ditty on this. So what we want to do is 1, 2, 3, 5, fretting that 3rd string, and then pick your finger up and follow with a bum ditty on the 3rd string. So it's going to sound like this. One more. So drop, thumb, ditty, bum, ditty. And if you want to, put a brush into that last bum ditty. Hopefully you can hear how that is like an ending to a song. Drop, thumb, ditty, bum, ditty. So a lot of tunes in G or capoed up A can be ended with that. It's almost like a lick. I wouldn't really call it a lick, but it's a pattern that you can insert into a whole lot of songs. So if you're learning something on the fly and don't know it, and listen for the ending of the song, if somebody else is playing it, and see if that pattern works, again, if it's in G or A. And once again, the critical thing is you're going to fret the 3rd string at the 2nd fret to get that ending right. So let me show you one here, a little shortening bread, and listen for that ending. I'll leave out all the other embellishments and just kind of play a very simple A part of shortening bread. There it is, embedded right into the tune structure. Now, like I said, this works across a whole bunch of tunings. Let me go into sawmill tuning by bringing my 2nd string up half step. There we go. And let me play a little bit of Cluck Old Hen using that 1, 2, 3, 5 bum ditty as the ending. But we're going to do one thing different here. Rather than fretting at the 2nd fret in this sawmill or modal tuning, we're going to fret the 3rd string at the 3rd fret to make this work right. That's a note in this mountain minor tuning. So here's a little Cluck Old Hen just to demonstrate. Okay, hopefully you heard that 1, 2, 3, 5 ending there. Again, I'm going to play the 3rd string in this modal tuning. Typically, you're going to play the 3rd string fretted at the 3rd fret to get the notes right. Lastly, let's go into double C tuning, which if capoed up would be double D, so I just need to drop my 4th string. Oh, good enough. Let me do a little Soldier's Joy. I'm going to insert the 1, 2, 3, 5 roll with a bum ditty after that into the ending of Soldier's Joy. And here's the thing we want to alter for the double C tuning. Now the 3rd string is going to be fretted at the 4th fret. It's a note in the C scale. Here we go. Well, actually there I did 2 bum ditties at the end, but hopefully you heard that maneuver. So, a very useful drop thumb roll pattern that I call the 1, 2, 3, 5 pattern. Very useful for endings of a lot of songs and tunes. Like I said, across almost any tuning you can think of. The only trick to this is you need to know where to fret the 3rd string relative to the tuning you're in. If you're in open G tuning, typically you're going to fret that 3rd string at the 2nd fret. If you're in the sawmill tuning, usually you're going to fret that 3rd string at the 3rd fret, with rare exception. And when you're in double C or double D tuning, you're going to fret that 3rd string at the 4th fret to get this roll pattern right to work as an ending. Okay, so there you are. Play around with that, see where it works into different songs and tunes, and I think you'll discover it's a very useful drop thumb roll pattern. Okay, keep on picking.